What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and I just got done reading everything from the Pokemon conference they randomly had in Japan just minutes ago, and I am losing my absolute mind. I consider myself not the most hardcore Poke fan just because this series has gotten so complicated over the decades. At the beginning, things were so simple. I mean, I began back when it first came out, so stuff like Red, Blue, Yellow, Crystal, these ones, they were just so fantastic to me because the design in general was so straightforward. A Pokemon looked like what they were. A rock Pokemon was a boulder, an electric Pokemon had spiky hair. It was easy to understand, but as they went on, I feel like they got a little bit more convoluted and kind of lost me. So I've been wanting to get back into the franchise just because, well, the gameplay looks so fun and everybody keeps telling me that it's gotten bigger and better than ever. And now, it looks like Nintendo is making a game just for us, the fans who miss Pokemon, who want to love Pokemon, who have been falling out of love with Pokemon. This game looks fantastic. But let's try and go through the details first because there is a lot to cover. First and foremost, I want to talk about the main thing they showed, the really big, crazy Pokemon game, which is going to be called Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. These are two separate games that basically function much in the way that Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Blue do, in which I mean there's going to be half the Pokemon here, and a couple exclusive ones, probably like 10 exclusive Pokemon to each version. That way you have to try and collect a bunch of them and trade with others. Speaking of playing with others, a huge aspect of this game is apparently co-op. You can play this entire game start to finish with a friend. That includes battles, adventuring, every single aspect of it is made to be played with somebody else. Now, as soon as my roommates heard about this, they lost their minds. They don't even own a Nintendo Switch. I'm the only one who's like the crazy Switch fan, so they've said this is going to win them over, just so we can all go through this place with each other, trading Pokemon, helping each other out. Now, one of my biggest worries was that this was going to try and change the formula too much of random battles, or trying to make it where we could just walk around in the world and get in fights and just have some general freaking fun, get some action in this Nintendo universe. And it looks like they're keeping that. It's very, very quick, but in the trailer we see a standard battle menu showing you stuff like attack, defend, trying to take somebody down, weaken somebody. But we also see a lot of different segments where you're just coming out as you, the trainer, against a Pokemon one-on-one. It goes into a first-person view, and we see somebody swinging a Switch controller and throwing a Pokeball. Now, this is clearly heavily mimicking Pokemon Go. Now, we know for a fact now that Niantic is deeply in the development team, and they are the creators of Pokemon Go. So, it looks like certain aspects of that, like special throwing and just trying to capture Pokemon through luck and sheer will, those are being brought over. That's the one part that I'm kind of the most conflicted about because it is a big change. And I'll be honest, I never got into Pokemon Go at all. It seems interesting and some of my buddies enjoyed running around with it, but something about it it never fully clicked with me. So seeing them taking certain aspects of that and planting it into a real Pokemon game, which I have to use the word real here, it seems like a very good bargain, a way of trying making it where the fans like me are happy and the people who have just gotten into the series with Pokemon Go are going to have an easy segue into a main game. Now, this in general is absolutely crazy, but I have to say what kind of stuns me the most is that the graphics are way better than I thought. So I've been reading all sorts of different leaks and they made it sound like this was just going to be Sun and Moon slightly upscaled, but there's not that at all. In fact, I would say that I was quite blown away by how different the art style is. There's something sort of bubbly and cartoonish about it that it really works. When I first saw it, I was a little bit like, what the hell is this? this. But watching it in motion and going through that trailer 10 or 12 times, I can really understand what they're getting at. And I have to say, I'm very, very impressed that they managed to do so much in such a short time. Now, what is this game about in general? Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are going to be full remakes of the original Pokemon Yellow. It's going to be back in Kanto, the original 151 Pokemon, and basically just trying to reintroduce people to this franchise by going back to its roots. Now, I'm a huge fan of that, and I know that some Pokemon fans aren't going to be. I know they mock people like me a lot because they say that we're Gen 1ers. We're people who are too obsessed with the past and not willing to see the great future that Pokemon has in store for us. But I feel like this is a fantastic compromise, introducing so many new gameplay elements, a totally new style of graphics into the world we already know. That's a genius move. Something else that they're introducing with this that's kind of crazy is they're going to have a custom Pokemon controller. What it looks like is a Pokeball. In this, they're showing them actually doing the throwing motion that you would normally do with a Joy-Con with this Pokeball instead, to make it where you throw it with a curve or try and dead bean somebody in the face to suck them out of your Pokeball quicker. There was also a shot of somebody's Pokeball lighting up, and then it stops lighting up when the Pokemon gets captured, and then went over to a friend and put the Pokemon into their game. So I feel like this may be their own way of trying to introduce a different concept of trading Pokemon besides just using Wi-Fi or some sort of local internet. I feel like this is interesting, but I really want to see more of how that works. I feel like when it comes to peripherals, it's really, really delicate. You need to be least invasive as possible, making it where it provides something new and fun without feeling like it's trying to override something that, well, already worked great. Overall, I have to say that Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee completely defied my expectations. Honestly, I had very low hope for this, just because, I don't know, I thought it was going to be something totally weird, and I even said in other videos that I was concerned that this would turn out to be something really, really, really boring and bland, and it's not. It shocks the heck out of me that this is so different and still so much the same simultaneously. So I'm happy to admit that I was wrong about Pokemon Switch. But wait, that's not all. They also revealed another big thing about this, which is that we are getting a full-fledged Nintendo Switch game, a full-core RPG of the series coming out in late 2019. Now, who knows what that can even look like? I mean, this game, as cool as it is definitely very simplistic. It's trying to ride the line and try and get people back on board with this because, well, some people have fallen off the Pokemon bandwagon. Well, this next game, they didn't even have a screenshot of, but it is exciting to think of a giant, ultra-powerful Pokemon coming out on Switch in the distant future. Now, the last thing that they did is perhaps the strangest of all, which is that they're coming out with a new spin-off Pokemon called Pokémon Quest, where you play as these little blocky Pokemon that are they kind of look like tiny robots, and I have to say that I think it's kind of cute. It's really weird, but it's kind of cute. They're going to be on a separate island that is outside of Kanto, so I'm guessing that this is going to, in a very loose way, tie in with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, but in a very, very minimalistic sense. Now, what's kind of odd about this is the gameplay is all about trying to upgrade in small ways these Pokemon. It's going to be free to play, so they said in several little things they released about it that there are going to be power stones that you then apply to your Pokemon to customize their stats. You can have 3 Pokemon at a time, and you run around playing as them, and when you have them, it seems like you unlock different sort of upgrades to make it where they play the way you want. Now, the fact that it has microtransactions does worry me because, let's face it, I'm sure there will be some sort of pay-to-win aspect, but with games like this, that isn't a big deal. I mean, the point of these is kind of just time wasters, so I imagine it's going to be a thing where you can choose to buy these extra candies, or you can just unlock them over the course of weeks or months. As long as the game interests you, you can get on board. What's odd about this is it will not just be coming to Nintendo Switch, but smartphones as well. This is going to be on mobile and the console itself. It's an interesting aspect, and I'm excited to try it because it actually comes out tonight. In fact, I'm installing it right this second, so I'm going to go get on that, and I'll probably make a video real quick talking about that once I put a couple hours into it. So thank you so much for watching this very hyped up rant. My excitement for this is through the roof, and coming up in November when we get both these games, I'm definitely going to be trying to play through both of them, but which one am I going to play first? Probably Pikachu. Let's Go Pikachu is going to be a blast. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. Please do me a favor, give this video a like, see if it can get to 2,000 likes, share this video with a friend, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Oh, hi. I'm just working on the next video. If you want to see what it is, go ahead and click this button and you can subscribe. Also, if you click these video links, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. Now I'm just going to sit here for a minute and wait for you to subscribe. Oh, I guess I could put on these giant glasses. I literally found these on a roller coaster.